Say What They Can't radio.
You can be anywhere in the world right now,
but you're here with us.
I am Renisa Rose.
Hey guys, it's your girl Amazing,
and welcome to the Personal Space Podcast. Woo, woo.
All right, so episode 2 of 2025.
Season 6.
Guess, y'all. I know,
season 6, episode 2, 2025.
Yes, and we have a guest.
We got a guest.
All right, let me get into this introduction. So, I watch a lot of Club Shay Shay, and I love how he be like reading off the accolades.
Right.
Okay, let me get into it. We have Zakaya S. Jordan,
Boom,
lead social worker in the Cougar Connection Center of Social Work, Spelman and Rutgers alumni, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Masters of Social Work, respectfully.
She's
a licensed clinical social worker, LCSW for the acronyms, and holds a school social worker certification for New Jersey's Department of Education. Ms. Jordan has extensive experience working in special education, mental health, and program development. Okay. She's a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Throw up your dynasty sign. After 16 years working primarily in K through 12 educational settings, Zakaya made her transition to higher education. She ain't fucking with these kids no more.
Because they bad. We love them though.
But most important, she's a person outside of work who enjoys spending time with her family and her friends, traveling, going to concerts and shows. What's your last show?
Ooh, Usher.
Which one?
Barclays.
Oh, we did.
The Friday night show.
Did Lil Kim come out there? Oh, we went to Monday.
We had Ja Rule and Fat Joe.
Yeah. We did fraud at that show.
We did
fraud. She likes to try a new recipe. What's your last recipe?
One of my grandmothers out of her recipe box.
Your grandma had a recipe box?
I love it. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, so my auntie stole all like her.
That was good.
Her pots and stuff, and my uncle gave me her recipe box.
Oh, I love that.
I'm working on putting together some recipes.
I got a recipe book. I pull it out for every holiday. I be like, "Where's my recipe book? I need my recipes."
I'm gonna do that for 2025. I'm gonna make a book. Although, like the stuff I already make, I don't know.
It's
so the ancestors
hard.
tell you to stop.
Yeah,
that type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Community service projects, love that, and several organizations. Okay, so tell me about this TBR list.
Okay, so I think when I was little, I used to be on punishment a lot, right?
Same.
And so my parents were like, no TV. Like, they would come snatch stuff out the room. Oh. And so I started reading like 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I love to read, but now it's a little bad. So so I buy books and I'm trying to curate them and catalog them.
Okay.
But yeah. So
you want to start a book club?
Something with some wine, yeah. Maybe that'll motivate.
Yeah.
You should.
I like that meme where they're like, they think I be reading.
Oh, I just saw that today. The girl was like, I love that y'all think I read and I'm just reading the best thing. She said, I'm reading smut.
Yes.
She said, the only thing I'm learning is how to swallow a dick. I said, I like those books.
I remember, I think I was like 13 and I came home from the library. My mom was like, they don't have any like young adult, teenage. I was reading Terry McMillan and I was like.
My first one of those books was, I think my first one was Fly Girl.
Oh, I like Fly.
I read that as an adult though.
No, I read. No. So it was Fly Girl. That was my first one. And then it was, of course, The Coldest Winter Ever.
Can't wait I cannot wait to buy that from my niece. I'm thinking about 15. 15 should be ready.
Yeah, because winter's like 15.
Yeah.
These kids already exposed to that shit.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. Like,
they watching the Pink. So
hello? Down to the valley where the girls get naked.
The Pink.
Yes.
They can handle winter.
They can handle Winter Santiago.
Listen, they can handle
Winter came home from jail and I closed the book. Because why did she have a reality show? I was like, I'm not doing this with you.
Oh, you tried to read that?
I tried. I still bought it. I stood in solid.
Was that the red book?
No,
it's the one that came.
Okay.
That was a Portia.
Yeah,
Portia. I read Midnight. Midnight story was actually good.
I did love
Midnight. Was good.
I did.
Oh, Midnight was fine in that book.
I see her at Rutgers Newark maybe 10 years ago, and I was like, yo, the Winter series and even Portia's book, because it dealt with a lot with mental health. Mm-hmm. But when she came out with this, I was like,
no, okay, you gotta hang it up.
When she was in jail, talking about she filming, I said,
you gotta hang it up.
Oh, you didn't get to the other part, right?
I closed it. Once they said the reality camera was following her,
no,
I said,
hang it up.
I was like,
so you finished it?
No,
I did not commit. I didn't finish the
got
first
through
chapter.
it and I was just like, what is we doing?
Where are we
here?
going?
Maybe I'll get an audiobook.
I love me an audio. I love Audible.
I haven't. I
yeah.
need to.
I like to turn the pages, but I feel like for this one, maybe I should get an audiobook.
You might, because I think Nia Long,
she read it.
I got mad credits because I love an audiobook because I drive so much.
Okay.
So I just turn it on. I just finished listening to, I really love self-help books too.
Okay.
This one was called Unfuck Yourself.
Oh.
Let me see. I think that's what it is. It's not like that, but it's just like how to get out of your own way.
Okay.
It was really good. He had an accent. He was Scottish. So it was fun.
Yourself.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounded like. So it was good. That's
yourself, mate.
Exactly what he sounded like. Yeah, unfuck yourself. His name is Gary John Bishop. It's like kind of like in the same area of like the subtle art of not giving a fuck and stuff. Like I love those kind of books.
So it's just another book to add to mine.
It was good. It's a quick. It was a quick listen, so I'm sure it's a quick read because it was only like 3 hours long.
What's the series? Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. I read that series.
Have that book.
I read the whole series. I enjoyed it. Some people had some bad reviews about it, but I really, because I like when it's fiction, but there's a message behind it. Yeah. And then at the end, like Black Girls Must Be Magic. It's like it was a Black Girl series. I really enjoyed it, and I liked it. It gave girlfriend vibes.
I love that.
Gave girlfriend vibes. The worst best book I read of last year, The Darkest Child. Oh, it was so traumatic, and I could not put it down.
I would call her and say, "Friend, what you doing? I'm reading my book," and she would just tell me all about it.
It was horrible.
It was very dark.
It was horrible.
It was dark.
And that one was Don't read Yellow Wife either.
I'm not gonna read it
because Yellow Wife was one I was like.
They told me not to read it in the book, and they was like, "Don't read this if you get triggered." I said, "Ordered," and then read it. I wasn't triggered. Like it didn't. Thankfully, God kept me from a lot of those things. But I was just reading it like it's people out here that really go through this. It's these mothers that don't like their kids.
Yeah,
and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
That's like what's the one? Precious.
Yes.
Push.
Yeah, that was hard.
That was hard.
Yeah,
too.
that was a hard one.
It was a hard read. Period. Like just reading. Like I had the
First of all, what the fuck kind of ebonics is this? Y'all taught me better than wrote in this shit.
But
y'all taught me better, and ma'am. It's like when I read them things like, you ever read Their Eyes Were Watching God?
Yes.
That shit hard.
But it is hard.
I was like, it
like, really is.
I can't, what are you
need
saying?
Like a PhD in English literature.
And then ebonics.
But the best time when I understood Toni Morrison was during COVID.
Right.
And they had them like one of these like read-ins for like, they was doing all kind of stuff. And I was like,
you gotta get creative.
I read The Bluest Eye in like the 9th grade. And now at almost 40, I understand it because they read it and dissected it.
Right. Oh no, it's good.
Like, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Same thing with 1984. You read that shit now, you were like, we're gonna die. They're coming to get us, and we're out of here. I'm gonna get back to my reading. I bought what's that girl's name? I just bought all 3 of her books too. Oh man, the black girl.
The black one.
Yeah, that's on my library list.
Oh shoot!
The black don't read nothing else.
Hold on, let me
know.
Listen,
let me tell you something. I always say, like, if I'm having like a conversation with someone, and I say, because people. Let me tell you, I'm only referring about it's only black people because that's it. I'm only referring to black people.
I mean, I like I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Was that good?
That's good.
That's on my list.
I will let you borrow it.
That's on my list.
I actually stole it from Walmart.
I mean, they got rid of DEI, so fuck it.
I went to the self-checkout. I always pay myself. When I go to self-checkout. So I was
because I don't work here. Why
I don't work here at all. Y'all don't have no registers.
That's
open.
your wage.
That's my wage.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there at the checkout and I can't have nothing to steal because I actually rang everything up and somebody left the book. So I said, well, shit. It took me a long time to start reading it. And then I'm just so happy that it was free. I would have paid for it, okay?
That shit is a trip.
I'm trying to find this lady. It's killing me. I'm going to find it and I'm going to get back to you. But anywho, I didn't.
It was gifted.
I'm leaving here with something.
Listen. For me, I be a little nervous. I'm gonna just take a pack of gum.
No, whether it be a reusable bag, I'm confidently leaving here with something.
Oh, I'm leaving with a reusable bag. I've bought enough.
I almost took a Pyrex ditch. I'm not gonna hold you. I looked at it. I was like $10 each. I said the kids are watching me. Yo, real quick. I tried to still catch it from IHOP. And my son was like, "You put that in your purse?"
Like, we have to have a conversation.
Okay.
When we get home. No, in the car.
In the car.
This is simply
Did
ketchup.
you do this? The one of those, the mama showed
So
up?
I tried to my daughter was like, "Mom, we don't need to still catch up. We are running low." Actually.
Damn it, man. When the kids start judging you like, we have to still catch up now. Now they telling everybody, my mom's broke.
Good. So niggas can start. I need a handout.
My mom's broke. Because that's what they will run with. Like, remember that time mommy stole the ketchup from the restaurant?
And
it's because we broke.
And did.
Fucking kids.
Maybe they won't ask me for shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's a stretch.
I did.
You're broke for ketchup.
Okay. Not for fucking Robux. Okay. You're broke for ketchup. Condiments. We can't afford condiments. Okay. Not vacations.
Not the Robux.
Lights can be off. Can I get Robux?
Okay.
We need real bucks. That me.
They be like, I could charge my device in the car.
Yes.
Who needs lights?
Okay. Who needs lights? We have a car.
Needs food? My avatar is eating.
My avatar is yo. These kids, they just they send you straight. Here's my son. Mom, I just need more V-Bucks because I need 5 more skins because shut the fuck up. We need groceries and you're worried about V-Bucks.
And how your avatar looks.
Your skin.
My daughter be like, ain't she fly? Too bad she ain't real. Too bad the money I spent on that outfit didn't translate to a real outfit.
Oh, God.
Can't wait till we get to the point where they can put it together and it shows up in your room.
Hello?
Can't wait.
Now we're talking.
Can't wait.
Now we are talking. All right, let's just get right into it because we don't have no hot topics. You know why? The world's on fire.
Oh,
literally, actually, fire spread to San Diego.
It did.
My homegirl had to evacuate.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that must be a new fire.
Otay Ranch, I think. Otay Mountains.
Mm-hmm. That's a new fire. Well, because a fire did start in, I don't even fucking know anymore. The world's on fire.
At one point, we both lived in California, so these fires are there. It's like, damn. We hear about those Santa Ana winds, but shit.
Those Santa Ana winds are real. So they're like equivalent to like hurricane style winds.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dry brush.
Yeah.
And tumbleweeds.
Let me be quiet.
Listen, y'all shopping at Target? I was there Saturday and cussed out a white man.
She did. I was on the phone.
It was the worst interaction I've ever. I said, this one, I'm not coming here no more. This what I get. I went in there for a charger and I said, oh shit, it's almost the time of the month. I'm here. Let me pick up what I need. And I think it's because he heard us talking about the inauguration.
For sure.
I was minding my business, AirPod in. I never talk loud in the store because I think the shit's tacky.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I hate it. When I see somebody on speaker, I'm like, oof. So I'm talking. I went to the self-checkout. The register's open. Excuse me, sir. The register's open. He walks away from me. And he was like, yeah, which one?
The one flashing.
That one right there. Couldn't hear you because you're talking so loud.
Oh.
I don't know. He said something. We went back and forth. And I was just like, shut the fuck up. Literally, kids there. It made me mad when the little kid ran to me. Can we all just get along?
Shut the fuck up.
He's like, everybody stop fighting. I was like, you're talking to me, the woman, and the man is arguing with me with 2 kids. The big, tall white man that's over 6 something is arguing with me with 2 small kids. You talking to me? Please. I was like, man, please get
y'all president gonna get y'all fucked up.
On game. I told him, and I was like, as I'm walking out the store ahead of him, I'm still popping shit because we on the phone. I'm angry and I'm shaking. I'm like, yo, you want me starting something? Who's bad? And then it's like, why are you behind me still talking? Like, why are you following me with this shit? Like, I'm walking away and you are walking towards me. So at this point, it's like, shit, let me get my blick, put it in the car. Y'all keep fucking playing with me. I'm not gonna kill nobody. I told my kids, I was like, you see, racism is not somebody calling you a nigger. It's not that. It's that shit right there. Because
microaggressions.
I said, but I told myself even better next time. I'm gonna be like, excuse me, the line's open. I'm gonna get that feedback. I'm gonna walk straight to the line myself. Because fuck you. Now you want to be big mad. Be mad for a reason. Now I cut you.
Now I cut you. I'm in front of you.
You want to fight?
Yeah, I mean, he did. Kind of.
He really did. I was like, would you have, like, you have all these questions. If I was a man,
absolutely not.
Would we have had this interaction?
No way.
If I was another white woman, would we have had this interaction?
Probably not. What bothers me, but probably not.
Probably not. And what bothers me the most is that no one, like, everyone's telling me to calm down. And it's this big motherfucker turned up. You were angry. And it took him everything. He wanted to call me a nigger. He just said, you're ignorant. I said, ooh, it's coming out. You're almost there.
You're almost there. He's playing double dutch right now.
He's like, I know. He must have gotten in a car and been like, this black nigger bitch.
Yo, you know that's their favorite one.
Yeah.
That's their favorite
one.
But
he got in the car and said it.
Okay, because
leave your racism at the dinner table.
Yeah. That's it. It's no longer at the dinner table. So, so all these places, they all roll back their DIs and they didn't want to do it anyway. They just didn't want to be on the wrong side of right.
Shout out to Costco.
Listen, shout out to them.
Walgreens is, I can still go to Walgreens.
I'm happy about that.
Everything's locked up behind a cage, but we can definitely go to Walgreens. I don't know about your Walgreens, but I have to, even for toilet tissue, I'm like, yo, it's so bad. You can't even get a diaper real quick.
Damn. My Walgreens so what's locked up at my Walgreens would be like soap.
Yeah.
But not toilet paper. I think soap and like razors, like shaving razors.
Everything. The only thing not locked up is vitamins. I guess niggas ain't trying to be healthy.
Y'all don't care about y'all vitamin D?
All right. Sorry. As we enter into 2025, a lot of us are at a certain age in our life and we are hitting a wall.
We're losing it. I know I'm losing it. I lost it. It's gone. It's still in the car. It's not here with me. Is my mental health in the room? Is it in the room?
My body's here.
That's it.
I just tell people it's like I got one screen open with 45 tabs running at the same time.
And you clicking back and forth.
And I didn't skip to tab 5, but I need to be at tab 10. And at this point, I close all this shit out. Now I'm sitting at home in the dark. I ain't did laundry in 2 weeks. Because all the tabs is closed. And it's like, bitch, ain't nobody gonna do this.
And now you down to your
last skivvy.
Oh, you down to your thongs from fucking 10 years ago?
And your cycle's on the horizon.
Okay.
Do I buy a pack of drawers or do I do this laundry? Like I'm fighting for my life.
Honestly.
Right now.
Yeah. And it's still January. Why?
Yeah. I turn around and it's still January.
It's still January, but it's about to be February. At the same time, it's very long, but it's like January came in and out. And then within the last week, it was just like...
We gonna drag it out.
Yeah.
So we bought our friend here, our therapist friend. She's gonna get us together. She's going to get us together and we're gonna work through this together. We like, y'all wanna hold hands?
We can. We're gonna need a lot of that.
We're gonna do like the I call this meeting of the secret society. What if I'm
Oh my gosh.
We losing it because all you can do is laugh.
That's it.
That's true.
You gotta just laugh.
That is it.
You'd be like, why you not? No. Actually,
what's the alternative? The
Nothing.
alternative is like, you don't want that.
Shout out to the dispensary. Really... Every time I go, they give me a discount.
That's love.
And they be like, I just be so nice to them people because they make me so happy.
The weed keeps you going. My homegirl says, how are you making it? I said, well, I got Jesus, I got therapy, and tequila. It's a balance, a little bit of this, a lot of this, a lot of this, a little bit of this.
And it also depends on what's going on, what you have access to.
Right. Oh, it's hard. It's hard. Go ahead.
I'm gonna smoke weed every day.
I heard that innate. You gotta
smoke weed.
Thank you.
That's exactly how it was in my brain. I was like, don't go there.
I'm sorry.
You played too much, but I'm happy you was picking up what I was putting down. All right. So on this episode, we want to talk about the Millennial Midlife crisis. I don't think we talk about it enough, but I think we all have experienced a level of like not breaking.
Right.
But we was wobble. We are wobbling.
We are palm trees. You know how in them Santa Ana winds, right? Them palm trees blow so crazy. It's like they will bend all the way over. They never snap. It's so rare that you see a broken palm tree. Mm-hmm. They bend all the way over. Like the top will hit the ground and it'll still come back up. That's us right now.
Yeah.
All of us millennials.
I think that we are living in this culture, especially with social media, where we have to have like everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be together. You gotta have the best body. Your house better be clean. You better be cooking with Kaya. Gotta have a nigga. Gotta have good credit. Gotta take 25 trips. Kids better have the best clothes, the latest sneakers. It's a lot. I'm fighting for my life. They ain't got none of that shit though. And I'm not cooking with Kaya.
Cooking with Kaya. You know, they gave my girl a hard time. They got her page deleted, I think. But
they got Cooking with Kaya's page deleted?
Yeah.
She was so cute. Y'all some haters. Y'all some haters. Like, your man with you. He not getting Kaya. Like, let that girl eat. Like, when that man be taking that big gorilla dude, be taking a picture in them gray sweatpants, I'll be swiping through all the fucking links. The black dude, the tall one, that big one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it looked like what it should look like. Because usually a man of that stature don't look like that.
That is very fair.
Usually you get down and you be like, look at this pecker. that man.
Y'all know who we talking about.
And it was like every slide. Every time you come across my page, I deep dive. Like, damn. It's you, Lord.
You're doing the research, right?
Because I feel like it's possible. You know what I mean? So I know it's achievable. Mm-hmm, it's out there. I feel like if I set my intentions and I call it upon the Lord,
He'll send you what you want.
Be specific.
I mean, very specific. I need that. I need like the width. That's a big guy.
Yeah.
But not like a big guy. He's like a big guy. It's like, I bet if he was with me in Target, that man wouldn't talk no shit.
Hello?
No,
he wouldn't talk. He wouldn't.
He'd be like,
I'd have been like, oh, the register is open. He'd be like, oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a phenomenal day. Okay. Okay, Zakaya. So I'm thinking, right?
Okay.
How do you think that, first of all, I think that millennials have really pushed therapy, right?
Mm-hmm. And have.
What do you think? How is it helping us? That's my first question. How do you think it's helping us?
So I think it's giving us space to really acknowledge, especially in our culture, right? Mm-hmm. We are taught from a young age what goes on in this house stays in this house. We are taught that, give all your problems to the Lord.
Child.
Jesus, say 30 Hail Marys and that's it. And we know also works.
Right.
You have to work.
Right.
Like faith without work.
It's dead.
Right. It's dead. And I think what is happening is there's this transformation. So a lot of times people talk about we're breaking generational curses and stuff. And I'm like, no, we need to talk about generational healing.
Yes.
Right. And so that's what I talk to a lot of my clients about. But also a lot of times parents they're like, can you fix my child? Can you do this? And I'm like, no, a family is a unit, right? Mm-hmm. So I think of it as a machine. All the cogs are working, and with this one cog, there's something off. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if my engine isn't working in my car, can I start the car? Mm-hmm. Does the wheels work? Mm-hmm. Do the blinkers work? Does the alternator work?
Right.
No. So it has to be the whole unit getting some healing and learning. Because if you're healing and you're learning new skills, and it's really about your healing is your responsibility.
Right.
And I think millennials, what I love is, and I love working with young people because they're not afraid.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes there is this, we feel like we have an allegiance to our family. Mm-hmm. So if I'm sharing these things and you did me wrong, I'm being disrespectful and I'm betraying the family. Mm. And it's not. It's really like, okay, so how can we work with these dynamics and still, because culture is a big thing.
Right. Yeah.
And there's so many subcultures within our own cultures, right? And so how do you work that? And so sometimes it really is modeling to those people in your life how you want to be treated,
right,
or hearing, this is how this affected me.
mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you're a bad person or you're a bad mother, you are a bad father, but this is how these things show up in my life, right? Because it affects our relationships, it affects how we are at work, it affects who we date and how we handle them. Your family is your first introduction to socialization.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you talk to people? Because if we're used to cursing each other out, I think that's typical and normal because that's what we did, right? But then I come across somebody else and like, oh my gosh,
why are you talking to me like that?
Why are you talking to me like that? Right. So it's really like our family, that's where you learn things, and that's where you start like, okay, this is how it is, and this is how we go into the world. So I think it's helping us because we're also reshaping that. Just because this was my experience from childhood, I tell people is about 10 brief years. 10, right? Then you get to teenagers, adolescents. Oh, gosh. But those years will affect you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And people are like, get over it.
Oh!
You're like 35 now. That's so old. And it's
I'll
like,
beat your ass now that I'm 35.
Right.
You know what I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was just talking to my therapist last week during a session, and I told her, I said, as I'm getting older, I remember more things about, more things that happened when I was younger. And it's like, how the fuck did I even remember that? Where did that come from? It's like, I didn't suppress it because I was just living my life. And it's like, I'm driving down the street and boom, I think about some wild shit that happened when I was 9. Where the fuck did that just come from? Why does that happen?
So it is, you did suppress it because you're just like, we talk about resiliency, right?
Right.
And so we talk about, things happen, we persevere, we put it back there. We do, because we got shit to do. We got life to live, right? But there are sometimes these things that trigger it. And one of the things, like, I work with people a lot on mindfulness. A lot of people like, oh, what is that? And it's like, think about it. Have you ever been taught to pay attention?
Yeah.
Right? So, but when we went to school, all of our parents said, you better be quiet.
Right.
Better sit there and pay attention to the teacher. Well, who taught us how to pay attention, right? But mindfulness is really what is going on in this moment, right? I'm sitting here with you lovely ladies. What is going on right now? But what tends to happen to us when we're in these situations, it's reminding me of a situation I may have been in before,
right?
Whether it's positive or negative, and that's our point of reference. So sometimes something just comes up and it's like, yo, this reminded me in 1995 when I wanted to go play outside and I got yelled at and punished or whatever, because those feelings and those emotions are still there. And then it comes up and you're like, oh. Or is there something somebody else could be going through something and they just say something and it just triggers you, like you're back to being 14, 15 and that little knucklehead you were dealing with, you're like, this emotion, I still feel it. But we feel like, oh, I've dealt with it.
Right.
I'm grown now, but it's still there, like right there under the surface. So one of the things therapy does help you is get underneath that surface.
Right.
Like, sometimes I know I'm a therapist who has had a therapist and will go for tune-ups. I used to come home and when I had a roommate at the time, she'd be like, oh, so Miss Kim wore you out today? And I'm like, yeah, I need a nap. Like she'd come in and it's just like, I tell people, it's like a physical workout, but emotionally. And it's a lot of work. It's not just laying on a couch being cute. So how does that make you feel? Sometimes your therapist is going to piss you off.
Oh, yeah.
They're telling you stuff you don't want to hear. Or sometimes, like for me being a therapist, I'd be like, I know what you're doing. And that's not it. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It drudges up all of those things. And then it's like, okay, I have all this stuff out here. What do I do with that? Because that's the real key. Like, what do I do with it? What are the useful tools?
Right.
Not just me talking about it. And that's why sometimes therapy doesn't work for people.
Right.
Because it's like, I want you to feel comfortable when you come to me. I want you to feel like you're so comfortable. It's like, oh, it was like going to talk to my girlfriend, but there was work done.
Right.
If you're not utilizing and I'm not helping you develop new tools, then it was a waste of your money and your time. So that's really what it is. I think it's helping people just really, I don't have to feel like this all the time.
Right.
I don't have to be stuck in this situation. I have options.
Right.
There's things that I can do. It's also teaching us our patterns that we don't see. Sometimes we need that mirror, right? Right here in your face.
Wait, so I got a question. As an adult, as a millennial going through therapy, what is your recommendation for when you are trying to share how a situation made you feel and the person A has no recollection, takes no accountability, or hits you with the I'm sorry I was a bad person, A, B, C, D, and you're just like, bro, I'm not mad. I'm just letting you know this is how this made me feel. So it kind of almost feels like rejection all over again. Right. Or I don't honestly, it angers me because how the fuck you don't remember the shit you did?
Oh, hello.
But like selective amnesia. Hello.
Like my nigga, it wasn't traumatic for you because hello, I was there. But like, what's your recommendation for dealing with that? Because we know, like, while we're seeking healing, our older generations are not.
No. So I think one of the big things is you always have to know what's your purpose. Are you looking for validation? Are you looking for an apology? What are you looking for?
I think I'll be looking for a validation.
A lot of times that's what we are. So you have to go in with the thought that you may not get what it is you're seeking, right? Some people might be closed off and they're not on the journey you're on. And then there's this grace piece too, right? My sister and I, we're very close. We're 13 years apart, though you couldn't tell. And I often tell her, particularly with our parents, like they parent us differently, right?
Yeah.
My sister was, a pretty good kid. You could yell at her. I was different.
Same.
I was like,
same. Same.
Yeah, I took a little special loving that she didn't. But I always taught her, I said, I have grown and learned to look at my parents as people.
Oh, yes.
And not just my parents. And so I look at things and I'm very good at saying, okay, so my dad was young when he had me. He was 21.
Yeah.
Just a baby.
Yeah. Right? So I think about how reckless I was at 21. And I ain't had no kids. I was in college. Yeah. So I'm like also looking at, sometimes like they didn't have the blueprint. And sometimes it's looking at how my parents were raised. Right.
Yeah.
And so when I'm having conversations with them, I find the balance and how to say it in a way where I need you to hear me.
Right.
Sometimes it's even just putting that disclaimer. I just need you to hear me and understand. But also sometimes, I'm needing you to understand how this affected me.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you don't get it, then you're not ready to have that conversation. Right. And I'm aware of that. And then it's my responsibility. Now, what do I do with that? Right. So sometimes it is hard. And then sometimes it's removing those people from your life, even if it is family.
Right.
Because sometimes those dynamics are just that unhealthy. Because if you're healed and they're unhinged, and one of my good friends, she's always saying, unhinged people, no. There's no healing. There's no hearing. There's no validation. There's nothing. I'm unhinged.
Yeah.
So what do you expect me to do? Right.
I mean, but society won't let us let go of them people. They're going to judge us.
No. Girl. I mean, or you choose. Here's the thing that I think oftentimes we're not taught. You have a choice. You get to decide. I tell my students now, it doesn't feel like that, but you get to decide who's in your sphere. You get to decide what type of life you want to live, right? Granted, there's a lot of different factors that lead into that, but I get to decide, right?
Yeah.
If you don't mean me well, and I will say that for me personally, like last year was very hard on my family, and there are people in my family who I love dearly who I'm not fucking with you.
Yeah.
Because if you bring me to this level, everybody knows I love to laugh. I love to have a good time. But when Zakiya comes out, if you have that much control over me, you can't be in my sphere. And there's no acknowledgement of what you're doing. So you need not be in my presence.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm healing and I can love. And I know, I remember my pastor, we used to do like these weekly meetups during quarantine, and we were talking about forgiveness and what that means. And I'm like, God is still working on me. And I'm like, sometimes forgiveness for me means there's no reconciliation of the relationship. Right. However, if you needed something from me, I'm not going to let that prevent me from giving you what you need.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're gonna be like,
you're not gonna regain access
Right.
to me.
No,
Right.
It's an open shut situation.
No. So I think sometimes when society is like, oh, you should, everybody is an expert.
Yeah.
And I always say opinions do not equate expertise.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to do what you need to do for you.
Right.
And if going into that realm is still hurting you, you're not healed yet. And so therefore, you got to remove yourself out of it. And then that's when you go with your therapist. I don't understand. This is still happening. That's when you go to God. God, why is this still happening?
Right.
What else am I supposed to be learning from this? Or what is this? Like, you have to do that work and figure out what's best for you and your peace of mind.
Yeah, that's big, because you, like, when you have these people in your life that are like bloodsuckers, right? Like, they're just sucking the life out of you, but you love them. And it's almost like an abusive relationship. You know, it's like, well, I just really love this person. So, and I know that they're a good person, because I can see that. I see them. I know that they're a good person, but they just keep wronging me. And I'm not even talking like romantic, you know? Like, because that's a whole nother conversation. But
it's another episode. We didn't bring her here to talk about dating now. The ghetto.
Okay. But it's like, it can be like a cousin, a friend, your mom, your dad, an aunt, an uncle. It's like, okay, it's like, I love this person and this person means so much to me, but they're fucked up, and their fucked upness is like hurting me. Like, they are literally hurting me. And it's like, I love you over there.
Yeah.
Boundaries are
over
important.
there. Absolutely.
Because you got to think about it. What is a parasite's job?
Yeah, to just
what's the job?
Right? Now I'm about to start speaking in tongues.
Right. So I often say that. What is a selfish person's job? Like, the other thing we have to stop doing is expecting. So you know what type of friend, family member you are.
Right.
I'm not saying not to have expectations,
right.
because we have to.
Absolutely.
But they're not going to mirror what you do. And a lot of times struggle love is applicable to friendships, family. And we're just like, one day they're going to wake up and they're going to understand. They're going to appreciate Adasha. And they're just going to be like, I'm not going to hurt her no more. I'm not going to take advantage. For what? I'm getting my needs met. You got something that I need. Right. Yeah. And sometimes grace is big. I do a 1 word every year, and grace was one of my words, because sometimes people don't, excuse me, I say it all the time. They don't know no better.
They don't.
They don't. They know what they know. And it's like, I have a need. And I know you're going to feel that need. My friend says that about me. She's like, because your no's don't ever mean no. And she's right. Because I'll be like,
make these no mean no.
Yeah, your no needs to mean a no, and with no explanation. And sometimes we do feel bad, right? And some of us who have these giving hearts and these giving spirits, people understand that, but it also feeds us. Like, I love the fact that you come to me and you need things from me, but it depletes me, and then I resent you because you're depleting me. But it's like, boo. They supposed to have, like, enforce your boundaries for you?
No, absolutely not.
That's up to us. So sometimes you have to put a little distance there. And the thing is, again, you're modeling to them how you want to be treated, what's okay to do, what I'm willing to do, like what I'm not willing to do. It's like, oh, I ain't gonna go mess with her with that. Like, I'm gonna go over here with her. So that's that honest on us, like, to work on those boundaries. And it's hard. Particularly when it's your family, when it's your mama, and you're like, no, because you still feel like I'm that 12-year-old girl.
Well, they still feel like
they do, but we do too, because
here we are at this big age now. You know, it's certain things, like there's certain nuances. You're just like, you are a fucking adult.
Yeah.
Then it
just be like, that's my mom.
It has to come to a point where, and I think there's a beautiful transition that happens when your mama really becomes your little friend.
Yes, it's so true.
But it's where you recognize your mother as a woman who's had experiences outside of beyond being your mom.
Right. Yeah.
But your mom also recognizes you being a woman.
Absolutely. You know,
how that transition
my
in
mom
your
and I,
family.
We've gone through that. I can say, like, in my early 30s, where it was so hard with my mom because in her eyes, I was still her child.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a child.
Mm-hmm.
And so we bumped heads. I'm talking about screaming matches.
Mm-hmm.
And it took for me to like shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And like I stopped arguing with her. And then I really did like therapy, like intense there every week. I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Help
and
me.
so it's like now we have that understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to tell her like, hey, I'm your child forever, but I am not a child.
Yes.
I am a grown-ass woman. I am somebody's mother.
Yeah.
You will respect me as a woman.
Right.
Because I respect you. I respect you as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect you as my mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-way street.
I'd be like, you can't raise strong women and then be telling me I can't be strong with you.
Hello.
Or where did I get that from?
Hello.
You know, it's hard for me. Like, I think I see my mom, but we haven't gotten to the place where we can circle back and be a little friend. Because I think it's been so ingrained, like, we are not friends. We are not friends. We are not friends. I don't want to be a friend.
And I think
that's fair.
I don't want to be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I got friends. Like, okay.
And
it
fair.
sucks because I'll be looking at other adults with their moms and I'm like,
but see, that's the piece. And you have brought that up. Like we use other people's litmus as the litmus and the barometer of what we should have. And I think that's the issue problem.
Right.
And so maybe you find that balance where you're good with what you would want from her. Right. And maybe it's not mom is being my little friend. Maybe it's mom respects me as a woman, that when I come to her and I'm talking to her, there's no judgment there.
Right.
There's no there. It's just we're having a conversation. Right. Because there is going to be some level of there's some stuff I'm not talking to my mom about.
Fair.
No. And I don't want to. I think that's
and you don't
weird.
want to. Right. And so it's like if
boys,
that's good for
them.
Exist. But I think there's sometimes I know my mom and I went through that. It must be something with the 30s where it was like how I perceive romantic relationships should be versus how she saw it. And I was just like, yeah, but it's different for me.
Right.
Like then when you were younger and stuff. But then it had to come to like what Zakiah wants is what Zakiah wants, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I understand sometimes from a place of a mother where she's coming from.
Right.
And so it's just like we got to this understanding and a respect level. And then it was also like, I also understand I can't live in your house.
Right.
And live the way I want to live because that's your house.
Yeah, it can't be two queens in a castle.
It can't. It can't. And I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
But it was also like there's certain things that she's not going to bend on because that's what she believes in. And there's certain things I'm not going to bend on because, but it just gets to that point where it's just like we can talk. And I will say one of the things I realized in certain ways my mom is because how my grandmother raised them.
Girl, let's not even talk about them people.
And my mom made a real conscious effort for things to be a bit different with her and her girls.
Yeah.
And so I give her props to that. But then I talked to my grandmother. She'll be 87 this year.
God bless her.
And she is sassy and feisty.
I love that.
I was talking to her and there's things that she does. And she opened my mind because I was learning about what she went through with her mother. And I'm like, wow, there's no blueprint.
No.
I respect y'all. It really isn't. It's one of those on the job training.
Seriously.
And you just trying to do a little bit better than
that's it. That's really it. And it's really trial and error. You know, it's like I have a son, so it's a little different. So with how I try to parent him, how I mother him is like, I just look at, okay, I don't want my son to be like these people's sons out here that's wreaking havoc on women, So it's like I treat my son like I love him and I nurture him, but I also give him responsibility. And I also, I talk with him and we have very open conversations, sometimes very uncomfortable. But on the outside, it's like a poker face, we have these conversations, but on the inside, I'm like, I'm dead. I passed out.
I'm alive. I'm dead.
Okay. That's how I feel. But it's like, my mom was so strict, right? She was so strict, but she also Because my grandmother died really young, but they kept a lot of secrets, right? And so my mom, secrets are a trigger for her. So she keeps no secrets. So I was exposed to a lot, way too young, right? So with my son, it's like, I want to be open and honest with him, but it got to be a balance.
But that's
age appropriate things. And so then it's like, I also find myself trying to figure out like what I think may not be appropriate for him. But then the shit that he comes to me with, it's like, well, fuck, I could have told him this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
they're far advanced,
way far advanced.
So I do want to ask, since we could talk all night. My most important question is, what is your advice to the millennials out there whose lives don't look like what they envisioned it would look like right now? Like they don't got the house, the husband, the job, the kids, because that's what we were trained to want and have. And honestly, all my parents got together young. All of our parents seem to have gotten together young. So by 30, you had the husband, the wife, the car. Listen, you had your pension loaded, and it doesn't look like that. Or so
we thought.
Right. Or so we thought.
So the next episode could be raising your parents.
Yeah. No, so we thought. And I think we grew up in a time where it's like, it's so in our face. And my friend and I were laughing, like, remember when we were younger, right? And I'm on the borderline. Right, I'm a Gen X and a millennial, right? Because I'm a 1980 flat, so I go either way. But I'm like, there's been this blur between reality and our real lives in Hollywood,
right?
And there's so many things now, social media and all these other things make it accessible, right? You remember, you could never say you had a weave.
Oh no.
Oh, but I could have my weave look just as good as Cardi's, and as I can go to these people. Things are accessible. And then we start to feel like this is what life is supposed to look like.
Right.
And so we are running this race because
it's the rat
you have
race.
the car, you have this, I should have that. And it's like, who told you this? Who told you this? Right? If you're a believer, you should be praying to God as to what is it that you're supposed to have. Right?
Yeah.
It's okay if you're 40 and you don't own a home. Right? It's okay if you're 39 and you're like, I don't think I want to do this. Right?
Hello.
I went to school. Like, we do these things, we're checking these boxes and we're running after this dream. And it's like, stop yourself because it affects your mental health.
Oh my God.
Right? Social media affects our mental health as much as people. I don't care what people do. You're right. Half of the stuff we talk about by the time we get home is going to show up on our timeline.
Yes.
That's one. Two, it's just like, it's giving us this never ending, the finish line is always moving. And we're chasing after this never ending finish line. And it has to be like, what makes you happy?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I had a discussion with my friend the other day. I said, I'm realizing I am not a title person. I love my job. And I'm like, they're like, ooh, lead social worker. Ooh, I'm like, yeah, I'm a social worker. I don't care. I help students. That's what I do. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I am the so-and-so and so-and-so. And at one point in time, I did feel like that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, was driving myself crazy. I remember 2 pivotal times as an adult, I went to therapy. The second time, I was nearing 40. And I was like, I am 40. And I felt like my life was so stagnant. And it was spiritually because I felt like there was these boxes that I didn't check. I wasn't married.
I feel like you're telling my business right now.
I'm sorry. My bad, boo. I didn't have children. And it was like, oh, when I go to my, Spelman reunion, all my classmates are doing great things. And I'm just, hey, y'all, hey. But I tell people I have such joy and happiness now. Not that I don't have my moments, but I know I'm supposed to be where God would have me to be. I know I'm living in my purpose. That is, to me, just as much as having the 2.5, the big house, all of this and that. Like, you have to be happy and find out what truly makes you happy, not compared to what other people do. Because we all post the highlight reel.
Absolutely.
The highlight reel, right? Everybody posts the best, right? So we have to look at that and run your own race, because that really, a lot of the young people that I work with, we're dealing with life in comparison to what other people are doing.
Right.
But you think about it, we've been compared to other people from the time we were born.
Girl, my whole life.
Right? Oh, you were in the 51st percentile because you were this when they're testing us.
Or even better, so-and-so daughters is doing this.
Yeah.
Your cousins, your cousins is here. Did you hear it? Your cousin went to fuck them.
Yeah. And people don't know how we translate that. So what we translate that meaning, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. I don't look like this. I don't fit this standard. And people don't understand that. Like they don't get it. And then we're left holding the emotional bag.
Hello.
And trying to unfigure that out. And just like, it's enough being a Black woman in this world. As we see in this last week, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when we hear these things and we see these things, we feel like, oh, I got to look this way. I have to act this way. I have to have this. My children have to look this way, because those are our kids are our accolades too.
Yeah.
How well you do is a representation of how well you were raised.
Yeah.
Right. And so sometimes we're still, like I said, those 12-year-old girls who are grown women, or those 12-year-old young men who are like, y'all are grown chronologically, but we get stuck there.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes you got to curate your timelines too. If you got to mute people that trigger you, there's some people it triggers us, right?
It's them fucking fitness bitches.
And why? And that's the other thing, like,
because I can't get my ass up at 4:30 no more. I'm gonna have to start.
But why should you? What's comfortable for you?
Because I used to, but I'm
because you're used to.
I talk to myself, right? Like, girl, just go after work. It's still the same workout.
Yeah, it's still the
same workout.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you start the day or in the day. You got it. You got it.
And then it has to be, you have to be your own goals, right? Because we are looking at these people and they're selling us a product.
Right. Absolutely.
Lying
They're selling us a product. So
it's fucking lying.
I don't lie and be like, I'm going to get up.
Me too. That alarm clock be going off for an hour.
I snooze for an hour. I have 3 alarms. It's been like this my whole life. No.
I snooze for an hour straight.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's hard, but it's like like right now, like I'm trying to get in my mind, like, okay, I'm setting my own goals. Not unrealistic ones. It's like, so I'm turning 40 this year. I would love to drop 50 pounds before I turn 40. Is that realistic? No.
I just aim for 10.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
So what is dropping the 50 pounds? What will that do?
I'm going to just drop 50 pounds.
But there's something about the 50.
No, I mean, maybe it's not 50. Ideally, I would like 35. But it's like, okay, if I don't drop 35, what if I just drop 15? I'll be happy. I just want to feel good.
To get started.
I want to look, I want to feel good. I know what I want to look like, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna work here. I'm gonna start here, and it's just like, but it's just getting out of my own way, because it's like, I'm like a super planner. I will plan down to the plan.
My outfit and be nervous and anxious and not do it.
Exactly. You do all that planning and get there and be like,
I'm gonna head out.
I'm gonna just head out, because I like
look
to
like Bria.
Exactly.
I'm leaving.
I'm out of here. Fuck it. And I'm gonna call Dash. You trying to go get a drink? You trying to get something to eat? Where you coming from? Well, I've got my workout clothes. So I ain't work out though. So you want to eat?
Heard you.
So shit gets thick. But I
be so hard on yourself, right?
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
We have to, like, if you set the goal for 50 and you're like, I missed 50, but I got to 25. That's dope.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. I think that because I am so hard on myself.
We are.
Oh my God. It's crippling.
We are our worst critics.
It is crippling how hard I am on myself sometimes.
I tell people, I'm like, we have to do cognitive behavioral therapy on ourselves. And I'm not one of them who use all of these technical terms, but you have to replace these automatic thoughts that you have and replace them with something else, because we are you gotta unwire.
Yeah.
So called deprogram yourself.
For sure.
Because we are like, I used to say, you can say whatever. Anybody on the street could say something to me and I'd be like, oh, fuck you, whatever. But what I say to myself is so worse.
Yeah.
And it's loud.
Yeah,
you don't even have to say it out loud.
It's very repetitive. Because that person's going to be passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sit with you every day. So.
All right. You're going to come back.
I'm going to come back. This is fun.
Thank you so much.
We'll even try to come in a little earlier. We'll see.
It's fine. I'm a night owl, so this is
okay. Perfect.
It works.
You come back.
Well, so thank you so much for coming.
So much fun.
Okay, tell the people. First of all, give a line of encouragement to the millennials, and then tell the people where they can find you.
Y'all gonna be all right.
That's it.
All right. We are. We gonna be all right. We are.
How can I say it? We gonna be all right.
We are. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, it's in our DNA. Like,
it's true.
It really is. A lot of people don't like the word resilient, but we are a resilient people. And like, I love the palm tree analogy you gave earlier. We gonna bend, you gonna blow us. Y'all gonna be all right. Run your own race. Like, that's it. Just run your own race and get you with some good people.
That's it.
That's it.
So where can we find you?
Where can you find me? So,
okay.
Private practice. I do work for a Black-owned private practice. Shout out to Cresting Wave Counseling.
Okay.
You can find us. I'm on Psychology Today. If you're looking for a therapist, I am open for new clients.
Okay.
You know? And if you just want some shenanigans, because I like to shenan
and then shenanigan.
Yeah.
We gonna shenanigan.
I am Determined 365 on Instagram. So
okay.
Yeah. I like to laugh and have fun, you know.
Y'all got to see her for Halloween.
I'm already working on.
Of course you are.
Yeah, and every year I'm like, I ain't gonna do it, and then I just
do it for the grand.
I ain't gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So my heart is so full.
Same.
I feel like I got another therapy session. I feel. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I just want to say, I love watching y'all. But like, I could feel like y'all spirit. Like when we went out to dinner.
We went out to dinner.
We met at dinner last year.
Shout out Tiff.
Hey,
Tiff. Was sitting in the corner with them and was just like, oh, they are just like so
Kiki the whole time.
It's like we knew each other for like
this been a year in the making, but you gonna come back.
I am.
You gonna come back. We gonna dig into some other topics.
We can.
We are being plagued. All right. So I can be found on Instagram at _amazing_. And amazing is spelled AMAZEING.
And I am at Ranessa Rose, and that's RANESSA ROZAYYY. And together we are at the Personal Space Podcast. Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, that was so much fun.